The NFL speaks, and now I think we're all done with this.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Dery with you on a Wednesday edition of Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today is Wednesday, January 3rd, and tomorrow, Thursday, January 4th. We got Pro Bowl rosters coming out tonight. We got Dan Skipper talking. We got Walt Anderson, Senior VP of Officiating, doing a video yesterday. The Lions will be facing Nick Mullens again. Bruce Irvin's gone. Ticket prices are out. A busy, jam-packed Wednesday edition of Locked On Lions. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Watch us for free. Shout out to our everydayers as well. Those of you that watch and listen every day, like Chase Lesage. Thank you. Bill Wilkins down in Kentucky. What's up, Bill? Kathy Prescator. I probably butchered your name, Kathy, but thank you for watching us and listening to us each and every day. Thomas Stubley, my boy Darcy Meeville, Reese Robinson, all of you, thank you for watching and subscribing and YouTubing and getting us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Dery Speaks and at Locked On Lions, Matt Dery Facebook fan page, on Threads at The Real Matt Dery as well. Locked On Lions today, brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase in buying tickets. I'm not playing you the audio of this. I'm not. Oh, I got to fix our sign here, our 222 sign. My man, Turner Batdorf, you'd be mad at me if I don't fix that. There we go. I'm not going to play you the audio or show you the video of Walt Anderson, the Senior VP of Officiating, that came out late yesterday. In which he spent 1 minute and 45 seconds rehashing what the Lions should have done Saturday night against the Cowboys. Here's what I want to say on all of this. Number one, I'm done with it after this. I'm done. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I know many of you are sending me your pictures on Twitter of driving down the highway and seeing Decker reported billboards. It's cute. Lion fans are still angry. You love your team. I get that. I can't do this anymore. All right. Lions got jobbed. I'm not changing my opinion on it, but I'm done with it. All right. Walt Anderson on this video, the Senior VP of Officiating, basically saying that the Lions, using words like fairness, deception, avoiding deception, signaling, reporting, verbally reporting, saying that, basically Taylor Decker needed to go up to Brad Allen, and wave his arms and scream and shout. That's basically now what's going to happen. There's a video circulating around social media of I think it's Christian Wilkins of the Dolphins as an extra blocker on offense, basically going ref, and like stroking his chest, basically. The signal of I'm reporting eligible. You know, it would be great if on Sunday against the Vikings, first play of the game, Taylor Decker went to the ref and did that. I'm eligible. Make Taylor Decker an eligible receiver on the first play. Because the league basically is saying that the Lions did it all wrong and Brad Allen did nothing wrong. And it's total bull, you know what. It is. That video was a joke. Oh, but the league can fine David Tepper $300,000 for splashing water his drink on a Jacksonville fan this weekend. Why isn't Brad Allen getting suspended? Guy's working the first game of the weekend on Saturday, and it's a game with meaning. He should be working the Jets and Patriots game, or he should be working at Kroger's. Breathe. Bruce Irvin is no longer on the Lions. The team is continuing to have to empty down its 53-man roster, or at least slice and dice a little bit. We told you yesterday, Isaiah Buggs, peace out. Now Bruce Irvin is gone, the veteran edge rusher. According to Dan Campbell, they had a long talk today, And basically it was decided that Irvin's going to be, the odd man out. Lions, of course, are getting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back. They got to find a roster spot for Kabinda. Lee McNeil's coming back, who's probably going to take the spot of Bugs. James Houston could be back next week. So Bruce Irvin, odd man out. Campbell said today he was a great guy to have on the team, a veteran. Bruce was going through some things, I guess, personally too. I think one of the reasons why he was in and out of the lineup. But regardless, you will not see number 51 again for the Lions. Bruce Irvin is no longer on the team. So there's that going into Sunday's game against the Vikings. Yes, the Lions are going to play a football game this Sunday against Minnesota at 1:00 at Ford Field. And I think the biggest thing when we talk about this game is the Lions are playing to win. So many teams are sitting out guys. And I'm going to get to this Rams situation in a minute. But you're seeing the likes of Jeff Driscoll starting at quarterback for the Browns this weekend. Sam Darnold starting for the Niners. The list goes on and on. If you're a gambler, Sunday is going to be a trip because I don't know how you're going to put these point spreads together when it's like Carson Wentz against Sam Darnold. The Vikings are going back to Nick Mullens. I'm going to get to that momentarily. But the Lions want the 2 seed. And stranger things have happened in this league. Dallas has been a poor road team all year. They're going to Washington on Sunday. Commanders, would love to beat the Cowboys and play spoiler. And if Philly continues to just completely stub their toe and wet the sheets, which is what the Eagles have been doing the last few weeks, and of course, their defensive coordinator, Sean Desai, Matt Patricia can't figure out what to do with that defense anymore. The Lions could still be the 2 seed in the NFC if they win and Philly and Dallas lose. So Dan Campbell has reiterated it. He has said it. He is planning to play his starters. They're hoping Gardner-Johnson's back. They're hoping McNeil is back. They're hoping Kabinda is back. And they're going full throttle on Sunday in a game that, quite honestly, doesn't have a ton of meaning, but you want to get back-to-back home games. You want to be able to host 2 playoff games and not just one. You grab that 2 seed. That's a big deal. So we'll see what happens. They're going to need some help. They're going to need Washington to beat Dallas. I think this could be Ron Rivera's last game as head coach of the Commanders. So stranger things have happened in this league. But what I like about the Lions is they've gone back to work this week. They're hoping to get some healthy bodies back. And, we'll see. We'll see where this whole thing goes. The other thing is the Lions are going to get later tonight. We're recording this right now at 5:00, but I think after 8:00, we're going to know who the Lion Pro Bowlers are going to be. Let me just throw out some guesses. I think the locks are Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Sam Laporta. I think those 4 are locks to make it. And yeah, some of you are going to say, well, Laporta's only a rookie. Look at his numbers. Rookie or not, he's one of the best tight ends in football, not just the NFC. I think Jared Goff has a chance. I think Aiden Hutchinson has a chance. I think Alex Anzalone should have a chance. But if the Lions get 4 or 5 Pro Bowlers, that's pretty impressive. That'd be pretty sweet. But that's going to come out later on tonight. And for those of you that are listening in the morning, driving to work, listening to the show, or watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And see if I'm right or wrong. But I do think that Penei Sewell is one of the best right tackles in the game. Frank Ragnow has been awesome. PFF has him as the top-rated center. What can you say about the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown? I mean, one of the best receivers in the game. And I think Sam Laporta is really, really good. And you look at the tight ends in the NFC. I mean, George Kittle's been there a ton of times. I don't know, Cole Kmet, he's all right. I'm trying to think off the top of my head some tight ends that have had good years. Jake Ferguson, the Cowboys. That's a guy that could make the Pro Bowl, certainly. But I think Laporta has a shot. All right, coming up next, got the email today from the Leos about playoff tickets. Did you get the email as well? We'll get into that next on Locked On Lions. Locked On Lions today brought to you by our friends at Gametime. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. That's because you're going to get the Gametime app. It's the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Taking my wife next summer to the Bonnie Raitt concert in Toledo. I'm a good husband. Getting the tickets at Gametime, baby. Last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. My favorite thing is this view from your seat. It's the best, right? Views from your seats at any venue, so you know exactly where you're sitting, and it looks just like you know you're there. Plus, you turn the phone like left or right, and it gives you that great composition of just exactly where that seat is, no matter the venue. All right. All in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you check out. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with our friends at Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's not bad. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, back on Locked On Lions, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to check out my man, Mr. Fisher, on Locked On Red Wings. I was on Twitter last night checking out Brian Fisher, who does Locked On Red Wings, and he was very angry despite the Wings win over the Sharks last night, but he does a good show. Check him out as well. Koo on Locked On Pistons, Scotty on Locked On Tigers. Those guys do a great job, and that is part of our network, which I'm a proud original OG member of since 2016. All right, so I get an email today from the Lions, and they say, hey, we got tickets available. Hurry up and grab them for the first wild card weekend game, first playoff game in Detroit since 1993. So I click on the link, and it opens it up to Ticketmaster, and there it is. 300 level tickets, end zone, upper deck. The cheapest ticket I see right now is $356 a ticket. $356. Wow. Now, again, secondary market's going to be high as well. Ford Field is going to be unbelievably loud. It's going to be an event like no other. But the Lions, to their credit, sent out this email to me. I am not a season ticket holder. I know others got emails yesterday and such, but I think, subscribe to the Lions stuff. And so I got the email today, and $356 is your cheapest ticket. Some of you are going to say that is absolutely ridiculous. Wait, I went on there and I thought it was $356 total for two. No, that is for one ticket. Standing rooms are not available, I don't think yet, but that's the pricing right now. And I don't have a big issue with it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, Rod Wood is gouging the fans. Look, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for some of you to go to an event you've never been to. Like I said, this is 30 years in the making. If the Lions win a playoff game at Ford Field and maybe even get another one, imagine what that's going to be like. That would be 32 years in the making to win a playoff game. So I don't have a huge issue with it. I did see the price at first and went, oh my God, $356 for nosebleeds behind the end zone. I can't even imagine what lower bowl seats or 50-yard line seats are going to go for, but y'all are going to pay for it. There is a demand, a high demand for these tickets. So some of you will complain. I saw some of the tweets and everything else, but this is the price of business. And right now, especially in this town, with the way the Lions are owning it, I know some of you are going to be spending an arm and a leg to get down to Houston for Monday night and the national championship game. Some of you Wolverine slappies and the Michigan alums and the Walmarters are going down there. Michigan's playing great football this year, and that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing too. By the way, for those of you that are going to Houston, have fun down there. That stadium's in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a parking lot away from the city. That's not, I'm not ripping on Houston, but not my favorite town for sure of the big cities. So don't expect to be like, oh yeah, we're just going to get a hotel and walk to the stadium. No, you're not. No, that's not happening. That stadium is in the middle of a parking lot away. Now it's downtownish, but it's not exactly right there in the city. Not like Ford Field is here. So that's the situation on that. What do I want to do first here? Let's do this first. I know what I've said about Matthew Stafford, and I know what I've said about the Lions. And yes, That is Hank Winchester's music. He already has done a podcast with Kelly Stafford, his podcast with her. I think it's called like The Morning After or something. And Kelly's already telling stories about how Matthew called her on Sunday night, because I think he was at the hotel and he saw, or Saturday night, and he saw what happened with the Lions, and he said, holy S and all this stuff. And Kelly was, bottom line is this. Still a good chance the Lions would play the Rams next weekend. But the Rams are not trying to win. They are trying to rest their players. Get a load of this. These are all the players that the Rams are going to sit out Sunday against San Francisco. Matthew Stafford, not going to play. Cooper Kupp, out. Kyron Williams, their best running back, out. Aaron Donald, best D tackle in football, out. Ernest Jones, out. All healthy and going to rest in anticipation of the playoffs. So it's not like the Rams view the 6 seed or the 7 seed any differently. There are conspiracy theorists out there that are saying, oh, Stafford went to McVay and said, avoid Detroit. I don't want to go back there. Maybe McVay is saying, last thing I want is a week about answering questions on Jared Goff and my, me banishing him and getting rid of him to go get Stafford and all of those things. That's a possibility. But the Rams feel like, hey, we want to stay healthy. We don't want to get anybody hurt. We're going to be in the playoffs no matter what. We're either going to be the 6 and play Detroit, or the 7 and play Dallas, or they could be the 6 and play Dallas. It just depends. They could play Philly, they could play Detroit, they could play Dallas. But interesting that the Rams are going to start Carson Wentz on Sunday against Sam Darnold. Carson freaking Wentz is back and better than ever. He's going to be starting this weekend. So, again, if the Rams win, they play the Lions if the Lions are the 3 seed. The Lions stay at the 3. The Rams lose. The Packers beat the Bears. Touchdown Bears. In Chicago, the Lions would play Green Bay. I don't want the Rams because I don't want a week of Stafford hype. Who would I rather play? I've gone back and forth on this. Green Bay, the last time they played the Lions, played very loose on Thanksgiving Day and torched Detroit. And playing a team for the 3rd time is not easy. The Rams defense outside of Aaron Donald is pretty young. I mentioned Jones and some others that they have are pretty good. But this is almost like an upstart Rams team that no one expected to be here. Green Bay, there were a few people that thought they could still win the division. Kind of peaking at the right time. Jordan Love is playing well. We saw what he did against the Vikings this past weekend. I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'd rather it be Green Bay because I don't want to listen to the Stafford talk all week. That's all. And I think that would be the focus, even if it's, let's say the Lions play, and I don't think it's going to be Monday night, but let's say it's the Sunday Fox window or something at 4:25. I think you're coming out with Burkhardt and Olsen going, he's back. And, here's him walking into the stadium. Here's him hugging the janitor that he knew or the security guard. Stafford. I'm over it. It's been 3 years. The focus should be on Detroit and what the Lions have done. Heck, I just said today, I think there's 4 lock Pro Bowlers, could be 6. Remember the days when it was just Darius Slay or Justin Dominican Sue that made the team? Or they didn't have one? That's pretty cool that the Lions have that many players that are primetime, big-time players and Pro Bowl players. But interesting there. I mean, the Browns are resting Joe Flacco and going with Jeff Driscoll. 49ers are resting Brock Purdy. Like I said before, going with Sam Darnold. Vikings are trying to win here to get into the playoffs. They're going to go back to Nick Mullens, which does not surprise me. Nick Mullens, despite his 4 interceptions, still against the Lions 2 weeks ago, made some decent throws, threw for over 400 yards. Remember, he had that fader to Osborne, KJ Osborne, which was a good throw. He and Justin Jefferson seemed to have good chemistry most of the day. But it was just those 500 throws into the sky that Kirby Joseph went and got. And then obviously that flutter ball on the iffy interception that ended the game. But if you're asking me, between Dobbs, Hall, and Mullens, I mean, they all stink. I'm just surprised Dobbs has been relegated to 3rd string and he's just completely done, because I think with his legs, he could cause the Lions some issues. All right, last but not least, I have one more thing on the Nick Mullens situation and him starting this week. We will do that coming up next, right here on Locked On Lions. But hey, first we got to tell you about FanDuel. Get in on the action, whether it's the NHL, NBA, NFL Week 18. You want to put down some money, college football, the championship game, of course, with Washington and Michigan. Do so at FanDuel. The regular season's wrapping up. There's still time to go in on the action, NFL action, with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's win or lose. $150 in bonus bets, win or lose on a $5 bet. The app is so easy to use, and there's so many different ways to play. You got live same game parlays. You got bets in the new Explore tab. Make it a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays. You know, promises made, promises delivered, parlays, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network and the NFL. Lions and Vikings coming up Sunday at Ford Field. Detroit trying to win. Dan Campbell has said it all week, reiterated it again today. Yes, we're trying to win this game. We would love to rest players, sure, but we play at 1 o'clock. We win, Dallas loses, and Philly loses, which is possible. Philly looks horrible right now. I saw a piece today about Jordan Davis, who many people wanted the Lions to draft, and he apparently is completely out of shape and not working hard and looks terrible out there. So Lions still got Jamison Williams. J-Mo, by the way, did not practice today with that ankle sprain. We'll see what happens Thursday and Friday and whether or not he'll be able to go against the Vikings on Sunday. One more thing on this game on Sunday, and I'm going to mention this tomorrow with Luke Braun as well on the crossover, but there are a lot of Vikings fans that are still very upset with Kirby Joseph on his low hit and tackle on TJ Hawkinson, which ended Hawkinson's season. Hawkinson, of course, PCL and ACL, I believe. I didn't love the hit. I don't think Kirby needed to go down there and do that and go low. I don't think it was intentional to try to injure a player, but hopefully Sunday there's no silly stuff and the Vikings don't try to injure Kirby Joseph in any way, whether it's late in a pile, whether it's a piling on, whether it's Joseph's in on the tackle and someone smashes him, whatever it is. The Lions need to avoid at all costs getting involved in that racket. They need to go out, play a solid, smart football game, take care of the football, win, get their 12th win, finish 12-5, maybe, just maybe, somehow sneak into that 2 seed where they will get 2 home playoff games and have some momentum going into next week. And here's the other thing. Dan Campbell's got to be smart. This team's up 21-0 in the third quarter. Get Jared Goff out of the game. Get Frank Ragnow out of the game. Get a lot of your starters out. Empty the bench. All right. I know you want to win. I know you want to continue to have momentum and everything else, but this isn't college football where you need style points. You need margin of victory. All right. This isn't the NBA in-season tournament where coaches were running up the score because there were tiebreakers involved with points scored and margin of victory. Lions have got to be smart this weekend. Go win. I'm all for it. I get it. Dan Campbell wants to continue to see his team play, see his regulars play, get some momentum back after what took place on Saturday night in Dallas. The Mullens situation, to me, he's probably the best option of the 3, although Dobbs, to me, scares me at times with his running ability. But this is not going to be an easy game. And I'm going to be very interested in seeing, too, the health of Cam Sutton. And, he had that hamstring groin issue the other day, tested it out on Saturday, ended up playing, got torched for a lot of the night, not just him, but everybody, by CD Lamb. And Cam Sutton's the best corner the Lions have, especially on the outside. You can make an argument for Brian Branch, who's the nickel corner and slot corner. But Cam Sutton's a good football player, but he's not had a good second half. And now against Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the game, who you'll now see 2 out of 3 weeks with CD Lamb on the other side. I hope Sutton bounces back and plays well and has some momentum going into that first playoff game. Because remember, the Lions face the Rams. They're going to be facing Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, who's been unbelievable, or they could get the Packers. And Jaden Reed's been amazing lately for the Packers. And we know Christian Watson can play. And, Packers have some weapons all of a sudden themselves. So should be certainly intriguing to see what takes place. We got the crossover tomorrow with Luke Braun, the host of Locked On Vikings. Of course, our Thursday crossovers always are presented to you by PrizePicks. That will take place tomorrow right here on Locked On Lions. And we'll do a Friday show and get you ready for Sunday's game at Ford Field. A 1:00 start for the Lions and the Vikings. Opportunity for Detroit to sweep the season series. Remember, Lions right now are currently 3-2 in the division. Split with the Bears, split with the Packers, and hopefully get that season series sweep of the Vikings. We will know more on Sunday. Luke Braun joins me tomorrow on the crossover right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Stay safe, everybody.